Hi, welcome back to Happy Apple Core Homestead and our part 2 of making Concord Grape Wine. I will show you the equipment that you'll need, or at least the equipment that I use. I'm sure there's other ways to do it as well. You will need a wine thief because we will be checking the gravity, and so you'll need a hydrometer. Now I have a journal where I keep track of everything that I put into the wine. And that just helps me, kind of tweak it for the next time if, the recipe isn't exactly the way I like it, if the wine doesn't taste great, or if it's like super amazing, I know what to do for the next time around. So I have this and I just keep my notes here. I will mark down what the gravity reading is, and that's pretty much it for today. You will also need an auto siphon and the tubing that goes with it. This is a 5-gallon carboy because we're doing a 5-gallon batch of wine. This down here just holds my bottle upside down so that it can, just kind of air dry. Everything here has been sanitized. I forgot to tell you about this. You're gonna need an airlock and some Everclear. You can use sanitized water, you can use just regular vodka. I use Everclear just because I can and I have extra of it. Everything needs to be sanitized. I use Easy Clean. You guys can use whatever kind of wine making equipment sanitizer that you want, or there's other more primitive methods if Easy Clean and other things are no longer available. But for now, that's what we've used. I'm going to bring you over into the kitchen and just show you what it looks like. We're going to remove the must bag and we are going to transfer the wine from the primary fermentation into the secondary. And after that, this is going to sit for a couple of months and she's just going to do her thing. And then I'll see you back for part 3 and give you more information. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Subscribe to my channel so that you can make your wine along with me. The first thing we're going to do is remove the cloth that you saw that we put on, and we're going to remove the must bag from the wine. I'll let that drain out for a little bit here. And in case you guys don't know, I mean you probably do if you're watching this video, but the must is all of the grape skins and the seeds and all that extra stuff that we don't want in our end product, but it makes for a beautiful wine. So since I'm squeezing this out, I am going to let it kind of sit for a little while, let that sediment kind of shrink down to the bottom. Now, if you remember from the first video, how big this and full this bag was, you can see that it has broken down quite a bit. Okay, once you have the bag out, the extras from inside the must bag can go onto your compost pile. We want this bucket to be elevated before it goes into the carboy, which will be on a lower level. So we're putting that on the floor, and the bucket of wine is going to go onto the counter. Just a quick note about me squeezing the bag. Some people don't do that, and you don't have to either. Some people squeeze it every day while it's in the primary fermentation, and some people don't. It's really just up to you and kind of how long you have to let the wine clear. I have lots of time, so I'm not super worried about it being cloudy right now. It's going to be in that carboy for a couple of months before I even really look at it again. Keep that in mind when you're making your wine. And we've got some fruit flies in the house, so we're going to just get this done as quickly as possible And I may put this new cover back over the bucket. So here's your here's your siphon, here's your tube. Tube goes into the carboy, and the siphon goes into the bucket. And I'm just going to lift the siphon up and down a couple times, and then basically it does the rest all on its own. And while it's doing that, I am gonna just cover it, and I'll keep an eye out too. I don't want any fruit flies to contaminate the wine. Okay, we're gonna stop it right here so it has some room to ferment. All right, it's important that you leave some space here between the top of the wine and the top of your carboy, because it is going to bubble up. Let me clean up my mess here and we'll get to the next step. Okay, next on the agenda is to do a gravity reading, just so we know what we're working with. Put your wine thief down inside just like so, and lift it up. And then you'll take your hydrometer, heavy and down of course, and we're gonna pop it right in to this, give it a good spin, and it's gonna tell us how much work it's done since the last time we checked it. You might not be able to see it, but it is at 1.40, which is great. Obviously, the goal is after fermentation is finished that it will get all the way up to 0.9. Okay, now we're gonna put this wine back in here and get the airlock on. All right, this is an airlock. They make lots of different kinds. This one's fine. I like it. I like all the different ones that I have, but this is the one we're using today. And you can see the lid is pretty small. If a fruit fly can get in there, it can't get back out. So it's important to keep your airlock full of something that's sanitized. And today we'll be using Everclear. And before long, you'll see that start to bubble. If you don't see it bubbling, don't stress out. It's still doing its thing. There's other ways to check to make sure that your ferment is still going. Now, I keep a thermometer strip on here just so that I know. I do keep this in a controlled environment, temperature-wise, but if you don't, I mean, you're still gonna make wine. If it gets too cold, there's a possibility of stunting the fermentation. My house gets really cold, and I've never had it happen to me before, but just something to be aware of. But I'm really happy with the color. It's very pretty, quite dark at this point compared to ones that I've done with just juice, as opposed to also including the grape skins. All right, you guys, she's done for now. And you can see maybe a little bit starting to bubble up. The gases are coming out of the airlock just like it's supposed to. And I'm kind of feeling like I said that the gravity was 1.4, it's 1.04. That's where it should be. When you watch this, I'll correct it when you're actually seeing the video if I said it wrong. So the initial reading was 1.065. This one was 1.040. Oh my gosh, you guys. Numbers are not my friend today. Anyways, it's right on track. It's where it's supposed to be, even though like my brain is like, whoa, squirrel. Please stay tuned for part 3, where I will show you some photographs of the process and also show you all of the bottling and how I go about that process and all the equipment that you'll need. Consider becoming a member. That helps me continue to bring this information to you. And let me know if you have any comments or questions. I will see you soon. Bye!